Hey, Jim Ostrowski. Just want to give you an update on the Free the Children project. We're just starting on this thing. We had the book party, book bomb last night. We got down to number 27 in political books on Amazon. So went pretty well. I want to thank everybody for who came to the party. We had a great party. If you missed it, we had a great party. And everybody who helped out by buying a book online if you couldn't make it, or sharing links, or showing some support on social media. Um, at this point, we're planning sort of a book tour to Rochester. That'll be happening in the next couple of weeks. Probably Syracuse after that. Um, but our primary focus is going to be national media, national podcasts. We're going to be on Tom Mullen's podcast. He's got a great new podcast, and just have to work out the details with him. And we're going to be contacting, the populist GOP activists in the red states to get them on board with the project, because they're the ones that can really execute this thing. In the blue states, unfortunately, politics, electoral politics, is not going to accomplish anything, and the school board elections are not going to accomplish anything. I'm sorry. I hope you prove me wrong. You're not going to prove me wrong, but I hope you do. In the blue states, now the book, in spite of the title, it's a sequel to Government Schools Are Bad for Your Kids, so certainly blue state people should buy it. And even if you're in a blue state, there's about 5-6 different reasons why you should read the book. One of which is that we need to get the blue states to get the ball rolling on this effort to rid the anti-American socialist experiment, progressive left experiment in government schools. We need to bring it to an end, and we need the red states to do it. We need the blue states to support them in doing it. You may move to a blue state, red state, so that's another reason. You may have friends and family in red states. It's another reason to buy the book. But it's also a sequel. It updates the research on government schools. Everything that I said in government schools, you have to understand about government schools. It's mainly empirical research. So you don't, even if you're not a libertarian or whatever you are, you can't deny that the schools are filled with crime. That's not an ideological assertion. That's a effing fact. You can't deny that government schools are filled with drugs. And what I mean is in and around the school. I don't mean people who go to the school take drugs. I mean in and around the school there's drug activity. In and around the school there's drugged up people. And in both senses of the word, recreational and state-sponsored drugs, because I'll go off on a tangent here. Government schools are so horrible that they have to drug a large percentage of the people who go there just to tolerate the situation, so they don't act out. Sometimes they do act out, like Parkland, Columbine. There's some dispute about whether school shooters were bullied. I understand that. I'm a trial lawyer. I write law review articles, so believe me, I'm very conscious of the need to be factually accurate. In 35 years of being a professional writer, and yes, I've always been a professional writer. I was paid to write on a professional basis before I became a lawyer. I recall making 2 factual errors, and when I found out I made them, I corrected them. I've learned not to rely on memory anymore about distant events, because memory is a funny thing. I said Jimmy Carter put in the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit, and it was actually Nixon. So I'm very careful about facts. Government school is mainly factual. Only in the latter stages do I get into a little bit of a sort of a philosophical critique. But chapter 1 is crime. Chapter 2 is drugs. Chapter 3 is sex, and all of those elements, which were reasons to keep your kids out of government schools, are all updated for Free the Children. Everything has gotten worse or stayed the same, but I think generally speaking, the trends are getting worse. The prisonization of the school, generally speaking, is getting worse. Government schools are now a prison, basically. They look like a prison. They act like a prison. They are daytime juvenile detention centers, I've said for years. The propaganda function. See, government schools used to be basically progressive propaganda, brainwashing operations. Progressive meaning the government's going to solve all your problems. Now they're left progressive. So leftism, I know there's a lot of confusion on this, since I wrote a book about progressivism, and I'm writing a book about leftism. It's already outlined. It's going to do to leftism what I did to progressivism, which is basically destroy it. If you read progressivism, there's nothing left of the concept. It's destroyed. So leftism, man, a lot of road construction. What are they doing here? I'm heading to a meeting on a Sunday. Been super busy. Leftism and progressivism are different. And if you say, well, no, they're the same. Well, why do we have the word leftism? If progressivism means leftism, why do we have the word leftism? So there's a lot of confusion. Confusion's bad. I pointed this out many times. That's why I wrote progressivism. I knew what the concept was that's been dominating our country. I knew what the concept was. It didn't have a word like attached to it that was recognized by everybody. So I said, okay, progressivism. I'm not going to go into justifying using that word. I think it's very accurate. Like any word, progressivism has multiple meanings. One of its historical main meanings is government's going to solve all your problems. They don't put it that way, but that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. They may not say that, but when you look at what they do, anytime there's a problem, Schumer, people of that nature, I use him. He's like an icon of progressivism. Anytime there's any sort of a problem, Chuck Schumer says, oh, the government will solve that. No, it fucking won't. No, it fucking won't. Chuck, with your Harvard law degree. Love to debate that SOB. I'd crush him, by the way. Do you really want somebody who's, that you're going to be involved in their movement, not having any confidence? I think you want somebody who thinks they can crush Chuck Schumer, who went to Harvard Law School. Whoever's leading your movement is not confident in what they're doing, that doesn't know what they're doing, and maybe you need another movement. So leftism. I'll give you my really short definition of leftism. Leftism is a fanatical desire to use the state to make everybody equal in every way, shape, or form. And that is like a ghastly idea. When it was first propounded during the French era of the French Revolution, it was a bad idea then, and it led to a tremendous amount of suffering, mass murder, depravity. It's been revived. So now my point is, and I'd love to talk about history. So instead of just progressive brainwashing propaganda, learning to love the state is right, the government's going to solve all of our fucking problems. Now we have left progressive propaganda. Anybody who's different or anybody who's allegedly superior has to be brought down. You hate anybody who's accomplished anything, and you try to tear them down. And you're gonna make everybody equal. No, you're fucking not. You're not gonna make everybody equal. It's stupid. It's stupid. I'm not gonna win the 100 meters in the Olympics, and I wasn't gonna win it when I was a kid. You're not gonna make everybody equal. You know, I'm not gonna be a physicist. It's so, not to get into leftism, but so it's left progressive propaganda. That's what you get when you use these government schools. And just a quick, no, I'm going to wrap it up because I'm late. I'm late for a meeting. The teachers are all virtually all of them are Democrats, and the ones who are Republicans are probably like liberal Republicans. I hate to use the word liberal in that context, but you know, progressive Republicans. How the hell are you gonna? If you're a Republican, you think the Republican Party is the great answer, even though they haven't done jack shit in like 100 years, including Reagan, by the way. He was a canard. How are you gonna win elections when all the young people in the country are being brainwashed by Democratic teachers union members? How silly is that? That's so silly. If you don't like Biden, he won by 42,000 votes. He won young people by like 60%. The people who just recently came out of government schools, they all voted for Biden. So believe me, your strategies are not going to work. My strategies will work if people do it. If people pursue stupid strategies, my strategy is not going to work. So get behind the movement, libertymovement.org. I have 11 direct action projects. This is just one of them. I got 11 of them, folks. And a couple more on the way that I haven't put on there. So thanks for everybody for helping. If you want to be with the winning team, join our team. If you want to be with somebody who knows what he's doing, he's been doing it for 48 years. Somebody who's gone up against the bad guys and beaten them a number of times. And when they beaten me, they came out bloodied. They knew they were in for a fight. So then join me in the Free the Children movement. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks everybody who helped.